Well, we can call it a night now. Folks, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show. We're joined here again by Rhythmic Doctor James Gadson. Welcome back to the program, my man.
How's it going this evening? How was the trip from Tucson?
Well, it was good. I've been doing cooking with 2 interviews already today, and I just
wow.
But I wanted to come back and see you and.
Okay.
Actually, I was going to ask you if you could sing a prayer for the people right now, man, especially the ones that are suffering those internment camps.
That we're having this talk about this today, say that everybody's aware of the situation down at the borders that we're having is showing some desolate situations that we're having, especially with our government. We have a change there. We just ask in Jesus' name that you can look down on us, Father. We know that you are in control and all things are possible with you. In Jesus' name, amen. So I know, I'm a Christian, and I know that there, be some hard times. I mean, we're in our last days.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that the world, as we know it now, will no longer exist.
Mm-hmm.
And, when Christ comes, Jesus Christ comes, so that, so it's, it's everything.
But what is that? I mean, how does that, can you sing a spiritual song for the audience? James Gadson was a doo-wopper. Let's be very clear.
Right, I was a doo-wopper, so.
And then, you have your faith, and it's deep. And you're right, though. It's prophetic.
Right.
It's prophetic, and it might, and things will not be what they are.
Yeah, I'm not that great singing gospel music. I mean, I laud the guys that do that.
Who did you play in a gospel band?
No, I never did play in a gospel band. I played at my church, but we did what they call worship music, hill songs, incorporated. I think they're out of Australia, and they write a lot of music for worship. I was christened. I'm sorry, as a Methodist, and I grew up. It wasn't like the Baptist gospels, the sanctified thing. Although I feel that, but the worship music is a little more. It's not as. It's a little shallow. It's a little, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
What do you mean it as?
Huh?
What does shallow mean?
Well, it's not as profound. We'll say it like that, as a lot of the gospel music of today.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as profound. It's just very ethereal, and it's also a message. It's all about Jesus Christ. So it's all the music is good music. it's all music, good music. So we found, I don't prefer one or the other. It's all good as far as I'm concerned, because of, especially for the message that is sending us.
Can you sing a Marvin Gaye tune?
Oh man, no, I could never do that.
But you played on that album, I Want You.
I Want You.
Because he was a drummer. Did you guys talk about rhythm a lot? I mean, at all? Was that the only session you were on? I was thinking about that coming over here.
I Want You came. That just happened. That was a creation that happened in the studio. I had been at Motown, I guess, 2 years, and I had started charging what they call double scale. That's double what a person would make. And I was kind of worried that day because the arranger, whoever he was supposed to be, they said Paul Reiser, but I don't think it was him. I don't know who it was. Didn't show up. So I was nervous, so I just started. I started that. So,
right.
Might have been a little faster than that. But,
so your anxiety, your nervousness.
Yeah, I was nervous because I wanted to make sure I got paid for that.
Double scale.
Yeah. And Chuck Rainey came in and boom. It was faster than that. Boom, boom. Chuck Rainey. Boom. Boom. I want you. I want you. I want you. I want you to want me too. Something like that. Just like I want you. Ooh. So that we didn't hear that. That if you notice that doesn't have a bridge. I think it's 8 or 12 bars or what it is. And it doesn't have a B section. It's the same set of changes. And I think Leon Ware and Marvin wrote, and T-Boy Ross, Diana Ross's brother, who's, he's deceased, and Leon is too, God rest their souls, and Marvin. They worked on that. And then when I heard it again, it was magnificent. In fact, the whole album. I did. That we had that rhythm. Besides,
Wasn't Wilton on that album too? Wilton Felder?
No. Who played bass on it? Chuck Rainey.
Yeah, you said Rainey.
Charles Rainey.
Charles Rainey. Yeah. I mean, I want you to just talk to your musical brothers and sisters about making a musical statement. How you've always made an imprint, and maybe the company and maybe the leader of the band didn't send you the gold record you deserved, but how you always brought a musical statement to the session or the bandstand.
Well, later on I found out some companies didn't give gold records. They just didn't give them. Motown didn't give them.
At period.
But when although I did get one from Leon Ware when he did I Want You, I have that gold record. But I wanted Cruising. Cruising was a very big record for Smokey. And Smokey told me, Motown, we don't give gold records. So, I've done several hits. Diana Ross, Love Hangover. A lot of Temptation stuff. And then I never did get one from Cheryl Lynn, Got to Be Real. So quite a few. I guess it's about 500. I might have 10 or 15 in there. I got the last one I did with Ray Charles, his last album that he did. So I got that one. And Freddie Perrin was kind enough to give me a lot of the gold records. We did when we did the Bee Gees stuff and Peaches and Herb and the one. I think they said the number one disco. It was Gloria Gaynor. You know that. What's the name of it?
I just a lot of cats think.
You know.
Yeah,
I can't think of the name of it.
but I mean that disc. So.
Yeah.
Can you just give people an update on? I saw you last time, and you seemed to be in great spirits. But can you just talk a little bit about
it? I was very ill. I had been since September. I had been pretty ill. I mean, the last thing I played was Playing for Change. It's a wonderful organization that they play for change.
Yeah, I know. How do I?
And I was.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure and honor of playing behind the Doobie Brothers that night, and I got sick right after that, and I didn't do anything. I was supposed to go to Nashville. I couldn't do nothing. I mean, I was just, and I caught this stuff in the hospital, this flu, and so I got better, and I went to the hospital. I went to the pharmacy to get a
prescription.
Fill my prescription,
Yeah.
and man, I got sick again. I went back to the hospital. As soon as you got stable, they put you out because I mean, the Kaiser did for me. That's what they did for me because they said that they didn't want me to catch nothing else. I don't know what that was about, but I guess it was an epidemic, so it was pretty rough, you know. So I'm just now getting cool. I feel much better. I have a little bronchitis left, but
You swim every day?
Huh?
You swim every day?
I haven't. You know, I just when you came here,
The pool looks clean, man. The pool looks great.
Yeah, it wasn't. You remember, it was all messed up. It was. I just got it. I had to get it replastered and everything. So it's nice now. So I will be swimming.
What was your could you? I mean, outside of being with Hank Ballard, once you got into, I mean, you toured with Bill, obviously. What other can you talk about life on the road for James Gadson? Did it eat you alive sometimes? Was the road a good place or a bad place for Gadson?
Well, it's according to what road you're on. It's according to who you're playing with. If they got hit records, or Hank Ballard was it was sometimes you might have to jump out the hotel room if you didn't get paid. You might have to jump out the window sometimes. They might not have got paid. I don't know. But
so you walked a lot of times, just walked away stiffed.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, you could get a meal down south for 50 cents or 75 cents, and sometimes that had to last you for 2 or 3 days. The hotels were $5 a week. At a place called the Forest Arms. That was a famous hotel that all the musicians came. All the musicians and the singers came when they came to Atlanta, Georgia. And they'd have the donuts out in the morning, and it would almost be a fight because, it was out there like that. But David T. Walker and I talk about that.
Oh, yeah, David, thank you for bringing up his name, man. Go ahead, yeah.
Because we used to cross paths a lot.
He was in the Kinfolk.
Right, he was in the Kinfolk. In fact, I started with him right after the Kinfolks left. I was in Miami, Florida.
That's right.
And I was playing with Dizzy Jones. They had this guy named Dizzy Jones. I think he and little Willie John owned this club. And so a call came in for a drummer to go to Nassau, Bahamas. So I took it. And that's where I learned that, boy. I learned that shuffle. But I also learned, a lot of practice Gold Train all day, and they would let us play.
Well, you would open the first set with modal jazz.
Yeah, but I learned that shuffle. They most of the stuff that they did was shuffles. So I learned that Texas shuffle, and the road was different there. I mean, we'd have to be in, like, if I'm in Los Angeles today, we had to be in Little Rock, Arkansas tomorrow night. And boy, look here, driving like that, 120 miles an hour, the guys would be doing it. They knew certain routes to take. They used to call me the Cobra. You know,
Right, you were up all night. No, but did you? This was like 60. What year is this?
This was 61.
Did you run across people like Sonny Rollins or people playing in R&B bands that were before their jazz career began?
If he was,
You didn't know.
I didn't see him. You know, I mean, at that time, the Midnighters had been, they wasn't so much on the charts, you know, at that time. I mean, they were still kind of popular, but it was 15
It was actually the perfect time.
It was
still
15 years later, so I didn't get to see a lot of the, you know, although Hank Ballard brought James Brown to King Records. I mean, the movie is not correct, you know, about that.
What movie? Which movie are you
They
referring
got the movie called Get On Up, where they got
about JB.
Yeah, but Hank Ballard was the one that took James Brown.
Well, what's the
to
movie
King
say?
Records.
What's the movie say?
Well, they said they were sitting in a restaurant, and they said the guy came up and he asked it, "I'm looking for James Brown and the Famous Flames," you know, and that's how they say that happened. But Hank Ballard was the one. I mean, that might have happened after this, but Hank Ballard was the one that took James Brown to King Records, you know.
I mean, did you? Your first recording was with Charles Kennard. You were starving to death.
Yeah, I really was.
You want to talk about Carol Kay? You played with her?
Yeah.
Now, I'll just went through my research. There are a lot of cats here that feel that, for whatever reason, she exaggerates the albums that she's on.
Well, no, you know, she probably does that. I don't know. I mean, I heard she did. You know, she claimed that she did some stuff that Jameson did, but you can't take away that she's fantastic. She's a great musician.
This is the question. I don't want her to rip it off, but here's my question: why would somebody with that resume feel the need to still? She's not alone. There's plenty of peeps that do that.
Well,
what makes a person do that?
I would think that probably Motown recorded a lot of the same records a lot of times. She might have thought that she played on that.
What do you mean? What do you mean they recorded it?
She might record. Well, a lot of times they would record the same songs. You know, I'm thinking that she probably goes. She's a lovely lady. I mean, she was cool. I mean, I played on some sessions with her. She's fantastic.
Nobody's
bass as well as guitar.
But you've seen other musicians who take claim for what is it about when they're still working?
Well, I don't know what it's about with them. I mean, a lot of people might have wished, but I'm thinking. Jameson was a great bass player. I mean, hands down. I mean, nobody sounded like him. He was the one that really brought electric bass into prominence. You know. But I'm thinking that she might have recorded some of those songs, and they might have, like they got a lot of stuff in the can, and they might have been on somebody's album, and she probably thought that she might have. I think that's what it had to be. I don't think that she meant to really exactly. Why would she do that? As the credit that she has.
Well, but I mean, aren't there other cats that also do that?
Well, yeah, a lot of people.
I mean, there was this whole thing with Bernard Purdie playing on Beatles records, and they're like, why does Bernard have to say anything about that? Like whether or not, you know.
Well, he might have. See, that's the only thing about that.
But we don't.
We never know. I mean, you don't never know. I mean, things come out of, you know.
I guess it's better when you do know. You've been on 500 records. I mean,
yeah, for him.
500 gold records.
Yeah, he says this. He must have did something. I don't know if he played on the hits. You know, but he probably did something with somebody. I mean, the way they explained it, they said somebody was in New York, and he had him to play on some records or something. I read something about that. You know, a lot of people have done. I mean, I've been on stuff. I did some Bee Gees stuff that I didn't get credit for. You know, and it was a demo, the stuff that I did. You know, but you know, hey, it's like that. You know, and a lot of times. People will think it's me. One thing about it, I won't take anybody's credit. You know, I would never do that. Right. You know, they got some records that I wish I had.
That's the thing is taking other people's credit.
Yeah.
That's but you've never had to worry about that.
Well, I mean, I would never want to. You know, that's an accomplishment. Why would you want to steal somebody's accomplishment?
especially when you have a house full of
Well,
accomplishments.
but I mean, if you didn't, I mean, I wouldn't want to say. I mean, a lot. Hey, as many records that I played on, a lot of them, I wish I had played on. Shaky Ground was one. A lot of people thought I played on that. The Temptations. Recorded it. That's why I'm saying again, going back to Carole King's thing. I recorded Shaky Ground. I mean, 3 or 4 producers produced it, but the record when it came out, it was not me. You know, so I mean, a lot of the. There's a lot of things. I mean, you know, and then some people try to say that. I mean, I played on IGY, What a Beautiful World It Would Be.
Greatest song of all, one of the greatest of all
And
time.
I've got some feedback that
Yeah.
I didn't play on that
Or
one.
that you were doing double draw. There was a double draw.
Well, I mean, that was me and
Porcaro.
Jeff Porcaro.
Yeah.
Jeff Porcaro, when I got and a good friend of mine, and he always gave me my propers when the drum magazines wouldn't even write up a profile on me.
Why?
I don't know. But he would always say, hey, you know, I listen to Gadson and such a thing.
I listened to Gadson.
You know, for the 16
but the
notes,
writers wouldn't.
The
I did.
They wouldn't do that. Eventually, they did. The guy that's there now, he was very nice and kind, and he let me in. But you know, I did that one. I did about 4 songs, about an hour. They got me out. What it was, they decided not to use me. They called me and they decided that. They called me, I guess 2 or 3 weeks, said, we got 2 weeks work for you. And then they decided at the last minute, I guess, that they wasn't going to use me. So I figured they would just pay me for a session, but they had me to come in, and they got a drum sound on me in 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes, and they don't do that. Still, Dan, they are very meticulous about what they do.
Hours and hours and hours.
And so I had, they put the music up. I was there in by myself, and the click track. And said, don't play no toms. This is not a tom record. And hit the crash cymbals very lightly. Don't hit them hard. So by the time I got home, Jeff called me and said, hey, man, can I use your toms? I said, hey, man, you got it. You know, hey, we were cool. Why would I let him use them? For whatever reason. Even if he had to overdub the whole thing. But I played on that. You know, I know I'm playing. That one and Ruby Baby, the ones that they kept. You know, I think I did about 4.
Those are the only 2 songs I listened to on that entire album.
I don't know what.
How many of the songs that became hits did you?
And I didn't get a gold record for that one. And then I wanted that. I really wanted the gold, the Steely Dan gold record. You know, a lot of people didn't give them. Barbara Streisand gave me a $250 bottle of champagne. You know,
that's great. I mean, where's the gold record, man? I don't need a $250.
It's an accomplishment. It's like a trophy. You know, so you want those. You know what I'm saying?
How can you talk about, aside from Withers, what other grooves did you come up with? Because we went through the 2 Withers grooves where you were in Seattle, you worked it out, he drove up La Cienega.
No, what was it, Tacoma?
It's Tacoma. But any other artists where you actually started, you came up with the rhythm that created the hit?
Well, yeah, I mean, express yourself. Bip, bop, chitty, bop, 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 ba-dum, ba-da, ba-da-da. You know. And Charles and I saw him last Friday. We had a big argument about that.
Last Friday?
I came out of Macy's. He claimed it. And he's not a drummer. He claimed it. Man, I showed you how to play that. I said, oh, now how can he show me how to play it? He wasn't a drummer. But we had a big argument, about a lot of things, that, I still love him, but he wasn't cool with that. Some other stuff, I don't even want to get into it.
No, but I mean, does James Gadson need closure as it relates to Charles Wright? As far as what has gone down, what would be closure for you?
Well, I'm praying every day so I can be the bigger man for him and everybody else that didn't do what they should have done when they accomplished the big records that I did for them. I pray every day for forgiveness, that I can just forgive and forget. It's very hard for me to do that, but I'm trying to do that. And I think about it all the time because, I mean, hey, you know, it could have been, it could have been treated fairly. And, you know, you would say, you say certain things, well, maybe my life would have been better. Maybe my children might have had a better chance. You would think, but you can't really say that because you don't know what happens in life. But, you know, you think about that. Say, well, if I'd have had the money, you know, I might have been able to send my granddaughter to dancing school. And she might not have been a juvenile delinquent or things like that, you know. But you can't really say that. I mean, you think that, but you can't really say what life and history deals you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not bitter. I mean, I've been on, you know, hey, man, I made my living. I came out here as a jazz drummer. I couldn't get no work. Well, when I did get to work, it was $19 from 6 until 2 at a after hours place over on the east side of Los Angeles. But, I mean, Cannonball and everybody came.
Was it Larry Gale's Coffee House or something?
Huh?
Larry Gale's Coffee House?
No, it was called Dupree's.
Cannon would come over there?
Huh?
Cannonball?
Yeah, Cannonball came over. Crane didn't come over there, but you know, a lot of other people. I mean, we were, and it was great because I was in my element at that time.
You were playing free and just playing
Yeah.
4-way.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, that was $19, so that wasn't gonna take care of it.
You know what? It just crossed my mind. Raphael was with me. In his collection, he has that album Man Child, a Herbie album.
Right.
Had you played with Herbie before? Not in the studio, but I mean, had you crossed paths with Herbie before that session?
Only on a jam session one night. That's the only time I played with him.
What jam?
I never played with him before the sessions.
Like when he was out in L.A.?
Yeah, they had a Monday night up in Beverly Hills, and he and Wallace Roney came by one night, and they had a jam session. I was playing, so they sit in, but that was the only time I played with him live. I mean, other times it was just a studio thing. But that was cool, you know. That was great.
Did you? Is there anything? What are you still learning about musically today? What still inspires you?
Everything. I mean, it's still. I mean, everything new. I mean, when you think you know, you don't know.
Can you give an example of that?
Well, I mean, just everything. You get up in the morning, the way you might approach your instrument, the way you say, well, hey, I might play it like this instead of playing it like this. You know, I've been doing it like this all these years. This is an example. And I could do it, you know. Let's see. That's the easiest over here. For me. You know, you learn a lot of just nuances, different things. It's you know, you never learn it all. You know, there's so many intricate things about music that's so beautiful. You know, I mean, that's just one thing of one phase of something. You never learn it all. I mean, I don't. Maybe some people do, but I haven't. I mean, I'm mesmerized a lot of times about you know, different music, and love to listen to a lot of the other musicians. You know what they come up with. You know, that's a great thing.
Who are some of the people that you like? Who were your idols in terms of jazz? Was it Blakey and Elvin? Who were the guys you loved?
It was Blakey, Elvin. That was probably.
Those are the two cats?
Yeah, that was probably the cats for me.
Did you ever meet Tony Williams?
I never got to meet him. I got to see him once with Miles. You know, I never got to meet him, but I thought he was great too.
Yeah.
You know, but Elvin and Blakey, for me, you know, I mean, I thought the drive that Blakey had, you know, the drive that he had, and the creative things that Elvin did. I mean, it was just so off. I mean, it wasn't always just so wonderful, you know. And so for me to have to get back into
the straight,
get back into the you know, the simplicity, which is also fantastic.
How do you feel? How do you feel simplicity? Because you're talking about feel versus versus four? You said don't play field, just play. I forget.
They all. Well, I mean, when they had me playing. I couldn't do that to save my life. It was so hard because I had been so free. You know?
Free.
So I. Well, he didn't like that at first because that made him rich though. That 16.
Man, he probably taught you how to do that, right?
No, he didn't.
Did you play double drums with anybody live?
Double drums live?
Outside of a charity event or something like did you, like Joe Cocker had double drums, the Grateful Dead had drums. Did you ever play double drums?
I never played live with double drums, but I played in the studio. I had the honor and the pleasure to play with Jim Keltner, with what's the guy you just called his name?
Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker.
I triggered that.
Yeah.
You played with Keltner double drums?
Yeah, we played double drums one day. Man, that was amazing.
What was
amazing. He's one of my idols, you know.
Great cat too. You know, I mean, you guys
beautiful
are
heart, beautiful. You can feel him, you know.
Well, I'm sure he feels the same way about you. Before I let you go, why do you love the Jake Feinberg show, Gadson?
Well, because you make it real. You make it real. Sometimes you might not write it real, but you make it real. You make sure it's what it is.
What are you saying? It's
sometimes you might write it a little different way.
But can you get down to the real goes down to the soul level, or what does real mean?
Well, I mean, you tell it like it is. It's not dressed. It's not really. I mean, some people.
It's unvarnished.
Try to sophisticate it.
Right.
You know, yours is straight down the middle, which is great. You know.
I dig you, James Gadson. Much love to you, man.
Thank you. Much love to you too. Thank you so much.
Bless you all out there. Keep it up.
All right.
Peace.